They say some people are born for fame, raised in the spotlight, molded by legacy. But what if I told you, Nicholas Galitzine never planned to be famous at all? He wasn't chasing cameras or red carpets or fame. He was chasing a girl. And that one choice, that one fateful decision to follow his heart, led him down a road that would change his entire life. From rugby fields in London, to becoming one of Hollywood's most magnetic leading men, Nicholas Galitzine's story is more than a rise to fame. It's a story of unexpected destiny. Behind the polished accent and the charming smile lies a man filled with contradictions. A British actor with Russian royal blood. A romantic on screen, and a mystery off it. A modern-day prince who refuses to live by fairy tale rules. And as his fame skyrockets, the question remains, who is Nicholas Galitzine really? Nicholas Dmitry Konstantin Galitzine was born on September 29, 1994, in London, England, into a family whose name carries centuries of history. The House of Galitzine, one of Russia's oldest aristocratic families, traces back to the 13th century. They were diplomats, warriors, and princes. But Nicholas? He didn't grow up in castles or surrounded by gold. His father, Geoffrey Galitzine, was a former rower who represented Great Britain, disciplined, grounded, and quietly proud. His mother, Laura, a Greek-American, was warm, creative, and endlessly encouraging. It was a home where dreams were nurtured, but reality was never far behind. Nicholas grew up loving sports, art, and adventure. He attended Dulwich College, one of London's top private schools, where he excelled in rugby and athletics. He once said his dream was to become a professional athlete, and he trained like it. Rugby was his identity, his pride, his passion. But sometimes life rewrites the script, and it started with something simple. Something as innocent as a crush. At 17, Nicholas followed a girl he liked to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. Not because he wanted to perform, but because she was performing. That spontaneous trip changed everything. Amid the buzzing crowds and raw energy of street performers, Nicholas found himself drawn not to the girl, but to the craft. Acting, something he'd never seriously considered, suddenly felt magnetic. It wasn't about fame. It was about expression. It was about stepping into someone else's soul, and finding your own in the process. When he returned to London, Nicholas joined a small youth theatre company. And it didn't take long for people to notice. His natural presence, his quiet intensity, made him stand out. Before long, auditions followed. And in 2014, at just 20 years old, Nicholas landed his first on-screen role in The Beat Beneath My Feet. He wasn't an instant star, not yet. But the spark had been lit. In 2016, Nicholas took a leap, starring in an Irish coming-of-age film called Handsome Devil. He played Connor, a closeted rugby player navigating friendship and self-acceptance in a world that demanded conformity. The irony? He'd once been that rugby player, struggling to fit in, to belong. And now, he was bringing that emotional truth to the screen. The film became a festival favorite, quietly powerful, beautifully human. It marked Nicholas's arrival as not just an actor, but an artist. Critics called his performance sincere and soulful. And suddenly, the boy who once followed a girl to a theater festival was being followed by Hollywood casting agents. But with that attention came pressure. Nicholas wasn't trained in fame, and he wasn't ready for the noise that came with it. Then came 2021. The world was still reeling from the pandemic, and Hollywood was searching for light-hearted escapism. Enter Cinderella, a modern musical retelling starring pop sensation Camila Cabello. Nicholas was cast as Prince Robert, charming, rebellious, and soulful. The chemistry between Nicholas and Camila lit up the screen. Fans instantly shipped them, tabloids whispered about real-life romance, and Nicholas, once again, found himself in the spotlight. But he didn't chase the fame. In interviews, he talked instead about gratitude, discipline, and the craft. The movie may have been a fairy tale, but for Nicholas, it was a wake-up call. He could no longer walk through fame unnoticed. He was now officially Hollywood's newest leading man. If Cinderella put Nicholas on the map, Purple Hearts made him unforgettable. Released on Netflix in 2022, the romantic drama starred Nicholas as Luke Morrow, a U.S. Marine who enters a fake marriage with a struggling singer, played by Sophia Carson. The plot was pure fiction, but the emotion felt real. Nicholas trained with military consultants, learned guitar, and dove deep into his character's trauma. The result? A performance that felt heartbreakingly authentic. Fans around the world fell in love with Luke and Cassie's chemistry, and soon the fake marriage movie became a real global obsession. Millions streamed it. TikTok exploded with edits. and Nicholas Galitzine became the face of modern romance. But behind the romantic glow, he was facing an entirely new challenge: fame. The overnight success was exhilarating, but overwhelming. Nicholas once said, "Fame is strange, it doesn't come with a manual. You just try not to lose yourself." And that quote defined what came next. In 2023, Nicholas took on one of the most daring and talked about roles of his career: Prince Henry of Britain in red, white, and royal blue. The film, based on the best-selling novel, told the story of a forbidden romance between a British prince and the son of the US president. Nicholas starred opposite Taylor Zahar Perez, and their chemistry was so electric, it shattered streaming records. But the impact went far beyond romance. The film became a cultural moment, celebrating love, identity, and acceptance. And yet, Nicholas's honesty in interviews surprised everyone. He admitted he sometimes felt guilt for portraying LGBTQ+ characters as a straight man. "I always want to honor those stories truthfully," he said. "I feel the weight of doing it justice." That humility, that awareness, made him stand out in an industry often obsessed with ego. He wasn't chasing applause. He was chasing truth. Then came the idea of You in 2024, and the internet lost its mind. Opposite Anne Hathaway, Nicholas played Hayes Campbell, the charismatic 24-year-old frontman of a boy band who falls in love with a 40-year-old single mom. It was tender, bold, unexpected. Audiences were stunned by Nicholas's ability to project both youthful passion and emotional depth. The age gap didn't feel exploitative, it felt honest. The film went viral. TikTok clips, reaction videos, fan edits. Everywhere you looked, people were swooning over Hayes Campbell. Nicholas had officially become the internet's favorite fantasy. But beyond the fame, the film also gave him something deeper: validation that he wasn't just a Netflix heartthrob. He was a serious actor, capable of carrying entire worlds on his shoulders. Hollywood may have fallen in love with Nicholas's performances, but the fashion world soon followed. In 2023, he became Fendi's first ever global menswear ambassador, embodying timeless sophistication with a modern edge. Then came Emporio Armani, naming him Global Fragrance Ambassador in 2024. From film sets to fashion runways, Nicholas became a symbol of effortless elegance. But despite the glamour, he stays remarkably grounded. He still lives quietly in London. He still values family over fame. He avoids gossip, avoids drama, and focuses on what matters: his work. With an estimated net worth of around $5 million, he's built a career defined not by scandal, but by substance. And now, the next chapter is already being written. Nicholas is stepping into the role of He-Man in the upcoming Masters of the Universe, 2026. A role that could transform his career forever. He'll also star opposite Bill Skarsgård in The Mosquito Bowl, a gritty World War II drama that promises to reveal a darker, more complex side of him. From rugby fields, to royal palaces, to Hollywood's biggest screens, Nicholas Galitzine has built an empire quietly, gracefully, and with purpose. In an industry built on noise, Nicholas Galitzine is the calm in the storm. A man who doesn't need controversy to stay relevant. A star who still believes in mystery, in humility, in authenticity. He's the kind of leading man we rarely see anymore. One who lets his work do the talking. So maybe Nicholas Galitzine isn't just Hollywood's next prince. Maybe he's its new standard. Because in a world where everyone wants to be seen, Nicholas reminds us, sometimes the most powerful thing you can be, is real. Which of Nicholas Galitzine's roles captured your heart the most? Purple Hearts, Red, White and Royal Blue, or The Idea of You? Drop your answer below and tell me why. And if you want more deep dives into the lives behind the fame, hit that like, subscribe, and join the channel for exclusive content only true film lovers get to see.